Hi, everyone. We'll get started in a few minutes. We'll give people a minute or two to join. My name is Genevieve Marino. I'm a part of the Glitter Goddess Collective, and today we will be doing our strength flow. So I hope everybody is ready to move a little bit. We're going to be doing some twisting. I just did the flow, and I spend a lot of the day now on my computer, and so the twisting felt really nice, kind of like opening up the chest, getting a little mobility. Now, on that note, please do not push yourself past the point of where you feel out of control. You are in control of your body, and modify as needed. We cannot see you. So if there's anything you feel you need to change, listen to your body and please do so and take care of it. I'll be giving cues, but by all means, interpret them in the safest and healthiest way possible for you on this day. And everybody's pose is going to look a little bit different. We're all at different points on our yoga journey, and each day is a little different. Before we get started, I also want to shout out that the Glitter Goddess Collective is offering these yoga classes for free to the community, but if you feel so called to lend a helping hand, we accept donations, and they go to families comprised of queer folk, people of color, people affected by COVID-19. So if you feel willing and able to, please, I'm going to shout out our Venmo at the Glitter Goddesses, or DM us, and all donations go to queer, trans, and PoC families. Let me think if there's anything else that I need to announce before we get going. Please have with you water to keep hydrated, and I recommend taking a sip to start, and a blanket or a couch pillow for some support to sit on. And we will be doing some lunges. So if you would like to pad your knee, a blanket or a towel could be nice. You could also fold up your mat so that it's like double thick or triple thick if you have any knee issues. Blocks are always good, but they're not necessary at all. And that's it. So let's get started in a comfortable seat. And I'm going to call out Virasana. And I have some blocks, but if you want to like bunch up a couch blanket and place that in between your shins so that you could sit down on it, that could be nice. Or like your pillow could go in between your shins, in between your feet, and your sits bones will ground down right on top of that. And just find your breath. And notice, is it rushed? Is it frantic? Is it calm? And notice, don't try and change anything. Not just yet. At any point during this class, if you'd like to leave us a comment to tell us anything, or if you have a question, please leave us a comment and I'll be checking them periodically, and I'll shout out the answers or I'll write back to you. And now, we're going to alter our natural breath just slightly. And we're going to practice an ujjayi breath. And an ujjayi breath is different because you can hear it. It's not quiet. It's got a little bit of sound to it. It almost sounds like an ocean or a seashell or something like that. And so you're going to send your air in. It's going to touch the roof of your mouth or the soft palate and kind of make that echoey sound as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, you feel that cool air on the roof of your mouth. It's not a loud sound, but you can definitely hear it. So let's practice that. Breathe in. And breathe out. Mine might not be loud enough for you to hear, so it might not be loud enough for your neighbor next to you to hear, but it's definitely something that you can hear internally, but it takes a lot of practice. And we're going to play around with the length of time that we are inhaling and exhaling. So everybody inhale and exhale naturally. Let it all out to synchronize, and then we'll breathe in for 3 counts. 2, 3, and out. 2, 3. Ujjayi breath. In, 2, 3, out. 2, 3. One more time. In and out. And we'll slowly increase the length of time. In, 2, 3, and out. 2, 3. This time it'll be 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, and try with your ujjayi breath. 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now to 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, last one. 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in naturally. And let it all out. You've arrived. You're here. You're perfect the way you are. Let's move a little bit. Remove any support underneath your sits bones if you have them. And, oh wait, I changed my mind. We're gonna stay sitting just for a little bit longer. And what we're gonna do, this felt really nice today. You're going to interlace your fingers. And then you're gonna turn the palms away from you. And you can be in any comfortable seat. I chose Virasana, kneeling. You can be in Sukhasana, crisscross at the shins. You're gonna take your interlaced fingers, palms facing away from you, and stretch them forward. And forward, and you might have a little cat rounding in the back as if you were doing like a cat pose, and then come back to neutral. And then I want you to reach your arms up, and up, and up, and reach especially the pinky side edge of your hand. And as you're reaching up, make sure your arms are perfectly straight. Rib cage is expanding left and right. Take up space. You own it. Back ribs are lifting away from the pelvis and widening the lower back. Front ribs actually knit in together. It's a subtle, it's not a sucking in, it's just a subtle engagement in the front. So you're here, all of these things, expanding, lifting, stretching, while the front slightly knits in. And then here, you're just gonna tip ever so slightly to the right, and the left sitting bone grounds down as you feel a nice left side body stretch. Maybe you look up towards the left side of the room or towards your left arm. And come back to center. Bring the hands down. Interlace the fingers the opposite way you just had them. Turn the palms away from you, reach them forward, and then bring them up. Again, sit bones ground down, back ribs lift. Side ribs move left and right, front ribs knit in. And you tip to the left. Right bone, right sitting bone grounds down as you lift and stretch the right side body. Maybe you look up towards the right arm or the ceiling. Come back to center and bring the hands down at your sides. Take the left hand, place it on the right knee. Take the right arm, reach it up, and then place it behind your toes or your sacrum, and it's going to land on the floor behind you. I want you to keep thinking chest up, almost like you were doing an upward facing dog here. And then with your gaze, if you're interested, you're going to look out in front of you, up, up, up at the ceiling or the sky, up. Then you're going to draw a big circle and look up, and then maybe your ultimate destination is looking over your right shoulder. But it starts by looking forward and up and up and up, and then lands over your right shoulder. And here, sitting bones ground down, This is a subtle twist. You don't have to yank anything. But encourage the right ribs to the right and the left ribs to the right or towards the center. And you breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, encourage the twist. And exhale, come back to center. So it's early in class. Just explore the mobility you have. And no judgments, don't force anything. And now if you want to, change up your seat a little bit, do what you need to do. This will be the last seated thing we do for some time. You're going to take your right hand and place it on your left knee. And then you're going to take your left hand forward, and you can follow, your gaze can follow your hand, and look up and up and up and up and up and then back. And then your left hand ultimately rests behind you. I'm on fingertips, so that's fine. And your gaze, maybe it's over your left shoulder, maybe it's towards the left, but posture, your chest is reaching up, sitting bones grounding down, left and right rib cage are expanding. And front ribs knit in, same things we did when we were stretching. And you gently encourage your left ribs even further to the left and your right ribs also towards the left and closer towards the center. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. And come back to center. I really like twists. Okay. We're going to meet in down dog. We'll come through tabletop just to help you get set up. If you are ready for down dog, by all means go right into it. But if you're with me, you're going to place your hands shoulder width apart or a little bit wider. Your pointer fingers are facing to the top of the mat, and the rest of the fingers are nicely spread. Not overly stressed out or together, just very nicely like that. And then feet are hips width distance apart, toes tucked so that you can reach the hips up and back. I have a nice bend in my knees because this is, one of the first down dogs I've done today. So you can pedal it out if you'd like. Heels are reaching back, but it takes time for the hamstrings to lengthen. So you can keep a bend in the knees and reach the hips up and back. And then push down with the fingertips so that the forearms lift. And your armpits are almost trying to turn so that they could face each other. They can't really, but it's an action that you're feeling. And you look forward to encourage opening in the chest. And then get to the front of your mat. You can step, you can hop. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up and rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up and then keep the hands and arms up and bend the knees and sink into chair pose. Bring the hips back, shins move back, you try to stay as tall as you can with the arms and the chest. Then bring the hands down to heart center. Bend the knees a little bit more as you twist to the right, and see if you can hook your right elbow to the outside of the right knee. While you're here, hips move back, and again you feel almost like an up dog feeling in the chest. Look up, and then fold forward. Nice work. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step it back to downward facing dog. 1 foot at a time. And here, we lift the right leg and bend the knee and open the hip, if you'd like. If not, you wait in down dog in that stable position. If you want some fun and flow and movement and hip opening, open the right hip. Then, please bring the right foot forward in between your hands and place it next to your right thumb. Set up your feet so that they are hips width distance apart, and bring the back knee down. Untuck the back toes so that you are in this lunge shape. Walk the fingertips forward and reach them, if you had a clock face, towards 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. And place the right armpit over the right knee. Hips move east and west to level out the pelvis. Reach the arms up. Push down with the back shin. Oh, I should have said pad the back knee if you would like. I'll show you on the other side. Pad the back knee. Then cactus or goalpost your arms. It looks like that. Cactus the arms, and maybe your gaze looks up towards where the ceiling and the wall meet. Maybe you look even further back. Then bring the hands down to frame the front foot. Untuck the back toes, and we're going to step it back. You can keep a knee on the ground so that you're in a plank shape with knees on the ground, and you're going to lower down. Place your hands off your mat, right and left, next to your shoulders, so that you're in this goalpost shape again. And we're going to do a wide-armed cobra. You can untuck the toes and peel the ribs, couple ribs maybe, the chest up, and then come down. Then we're going to come into this wide cobra again and just dip the left shoulder towards the mat. And come up and dip the right shoulder towards the mat. And come up and lower down. So you may not reach the mat, but I want you to feel, it should feel like a nice stretch. Okay, tuck the toes, but keep the knees on the ground. Place the hands beside your ribs and rise up for a plank with knees on the ground. Come through tabletop, and then into downward facing dog. And again here. Hips reach up and back. And for me, I achieve that by bending my knees so that I can lengthen out the spine. And then over time, you slowly work on straightening the leg and reaching the heels to the mat. Your fingertips are pushing down, forearms lifting and moving, energetically moving to the top of the mat. Armpits turning, rotating so that they're facing each other. And then look forward and get your feet in between your hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. And again, we're going to sink into chair pose. Keep the arms reaching up. Bend the knees. Bring the hips back. Thigh bones back. Knees bending, shins moving back. But try to maintain the posture in the spine. Bring the hands to heart center. And this time we are twisting to the left. Deepen the bend in the knees. And then hook the left elbow to the outside of the left knee. And look forward with your gaze and up. And you almost feel like an upward facing dog or that cobra feeling in your chest. And fold forward. Inhale, lengthen here, and we'll take an extra moment. Bend the knees, place the belly on the top of the thighs, and bend the knees as much as you need to accomplish that. Walk the hands forward to 10 and 2 if you had a clock face on your mat. And try to walk them as much forward possible as you can. And then slowly lengthen the legs and straighten the legs to the degree that you would like to today. And then if you want, maintain the length and bring the hands, they could go anywhere. I'm thinking about your nice lengthened spine. It does not matter where your hands make it today. Okay, inhale, look forward. Exhale, this time, step the right knee back. Walk the hands forward to 10 and 2 again. We're going to set this up. Hips moving out east and west to level out the pelvis. Left armpit plugs into left knee. Inhale, look up. Exhale, rise up. If you'd like to, pad the right knee by taking your blanket and placing it underneath the knee, or by rolling up your mat once or twice, folding it up for support. And then here, cactus your arms. So it'll look like this again. And here you feel your left and your right rib cage expanding, back ribs lifting, front ribs knitting in. Maybe you add a little bit of a back bend here. And look up. Exhale, bring the hands to frame the left foot. Step it back if you had anything propping your knee. You can remove it, and then you're going to lower to the ground. Bring the hands wide again for this wide cobra shape. So your hands are going to be in this goalpost position, this cactus position, fingertips on the ground. This time, bring your shoulders up towards your ears, then up towards the ceiling, and then gently down onto the back. Lift a rib or two up off the ground. Again, you knit the front ribs in. Side ribs, left and right, expanding. Back ribs lifting, and come down. We'll do this once more, and we'll dip the left shoulder towards the ground, and then the right shoulder. Inhale, peel the chest up. Exhale, bring the left shoulder towards the ground. Inhale, back to center, right shoulder. Inhale, back to center, and down. Tuck the toes. You can rise straight up into plank, or you could come to plank with knees down, and then come back to downward facing dog. See if there was one cue that really resonated with you that I had said earlier. It could be about the hands, the feet, the hips, legs, arms, armpits. See if there was one that really resonated with you and do that. Okay. No, it's okay. You can go through, it's okay. Don't worry. Inhale, look forward. And bring your feet in between your hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. You can walk through as many times as you like. It's okay. Inhale, reach the arms up, rise. Exhale, fold. Actually, keep your hands at your heart center and stand at the top of your mat. Oh, I see some comments. Hi. That's my dad. And take a breath. Take a drink of water. And you know, we're at home, we all have families, and it's part of our philosophy, the Glitter Goddess Collective. Come late, leave early, bring your kids, bring your mom, wear a snuggie, bring your pets, you know, like everybody. It's incorporate yoga into your life, incorporating the breathing into your life. That's the most important part. Okay. We're going to do that sequence again, and we're going to add on to it. Feel free to do it the first way that we did it. Feel free to expand upon it and make it more complex if that's what you need today. Inhale, reach the arms up. And drop into chair pose. Sink the hips back. Bring the hands to heart center as you bend the knees even more and twist to the right again. Hips move east and west out to their respective sides. Your chest is lengthening towards the front of the room. If you want to make this more challenging, you can open up the arms to intensify it. But by all means, keep the arms at your chest. You could even be here. Fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step the left leg back. Bring the back knee down. Walk the fingertips forward. Plug armpit to knee. Reach the arms up. Goal post the arms. And then bring the hands to heart center. And hook. Left elbow to right knee. Inhale, lengthen. If you want, you have the option of lifting the back leg. Hips move east and west. Rib cage expanding right and left. Back ribs lift away from pelvis. Cobra feeling in the chest. Bring the back knee down. Place the hands down. Step it back to plank or put the knees down and lower to the ground. Inhale, wide cobra. Dip the left shoulder. Rise to the center. Dip the right shoulder. Rise to center. Lower down. You can rise up into plank or you can keep knees down. But if you're with me, you're going to place your hands at your chest. We'll move through Chaturanga first. Tuck your toes, lift the knees, lift the shoulders, look forward, come up into Chaturanga, and then straighten the arms for plank. Bend the knees and bring the hips up and back for downward facing dog. By all means, move through Chaturanga with your knees down, tabletop, down dog, that is all fine. Look forward, get to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up, rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to do that on the other side. Inhale, reach the arms up. Sink the hips down for chair pose. See if you can keep your gaze up. This is the chest that we're working towards. Bring the hands to heart center and then hook the right elbow to the outside of the left knee while bending your hips even more. Bending your knees even more. Hips level out by thinking outer hips, east and west, right and left. Inhale, look up. Feel the outer ribs expanding to their respective sides. Back ribs lifting away from the pelvis. Front ribs knitting in. And then fold forward. Oh my goodness. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Step it back to down dog. Reach the left leg up and back. And if you'd like, open up the hip and bend the knee. If you'd like to stay in a stable four-legged down dog, that is fine. Bring the left leg forward. Step it between the hands. Bring the back knee down. Walk the fingertips forward. Hook armpit to knee. And then reach the arms up and rise. And if you'd like to pad the knee, please do. Then, goal post the arms. Look up and back. Bring hands to heart center. And twist to the left. Hook right elbow outside of left knee. Again, level out your hips and your pelvis by thinking hips east and west or right and left. If you'd like to, straighten that back leg and lift it by all means, but you can keep your knee on the ground. Look forward, exhale, bring the knee to the ground, place the hands on the ground, step it back, and lower to the ground. Hands wide, fingertips on the ground for a wide-armed cobra. Bring the shoulders up towards the ears, up towards the ceiling, and then gently down the back and peel up. And then come back down. And this is the last time we'll do this. Inhale, peel the ribs up, dip the left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, dip the right shoulder. Inhale back to center and come down. Again, you can come through plank or you can keep knees on the ground. But if you're with me, hands at your ribs, you're seeking these 90-degree angles at the elbows. And then tuck the back toes. Back toes, you have all toes in the back. Tuck the toes, lift the knees and the thigh bones. Lift the shoulders, look forward, and push up into Chaturanga, and then push into plank, and then bring yourself back to downward facing dog. If you'd like, bring the knees down, take a sip of water, take a child's pose. If you don't need one, you ground yourself in downward facing dog. Okay. Bring the knees down. And I'll show you from the side. We're going to do camel pose once or twice. Oh, take your blanket. This is so nice. I did this the other day. Take your blanket. I have it folded up a couple of times, but give yourself some nice support. It could be like 3-4 inches. If you don't have a blanket, that's okay. But if you do, what you can do is place your ankles and the tops of your feet on top of the blanket. And it's just a little bit more accessible. If you want to pad your knees for this, that would be a nice option as well. Your legs are going to be, and by legs I mean knees and shins, are going to be a little bit wider, slightly wider than hips width distance apart. And then you're going to come to kneeling like this. I want you to think of ribs, side ribs, expanding and taking up space right and left. Back ribs lifting away from your pelvis. Front ribs gently knit in. It's a lot to think about, so maybe you pick one of those things. And then bring the hands to your hips. Reach up with your rib cage and out. And I want you, with your chest, to imagine you're drawing a line up and up. Maybe it gets on the ceiling. Maybe you lengthen so much that you start to look back. But again, you want to feel a lengthening. You don't want to feel a crunching in the low back or anything like that. You just want to feel spacious and stretch out. If you want to do a different arm variation like this, explore that. If you want to reach your arms, but I want you to feel length in the spine. Length, length, length. And stick the butt out, bend the knees to come down and take a breather. We'll do that one more time. Again, go as deep as you feel there's value. If you feel crunching in the back or anything like scary or unenjoyable, don't do it. If you're with me, come on back up. If you're like, not today for me, imagine it. Close your eyes and imagine you're doing this and your spine is getting length and the front body is opening. So here, if you want to remove your support and your blanket underneath, go ahead. I'm going to keep mine. Ribs out right to left. Back ribs lift, front ribs knit in. If you'd like to, you could start with hands at hips, and then you can reach them down the backs of your legs. If you want to reach towards your feet, go for it. And make sure you can still breathe. And bend the knees, stick the butt out, come on back. Next, we're going to do a seated figure four. Oh, actually, if you want to keep the blanket, you can. And put it underneath your sits bones, you can. But otherwise, I have my feet out in front of me, hips width distance apart, and I'm going to bend my right knee in and bring my shin towards my chest. And then I'm going to rotate this leg so that the knee is facing towards the right, and I've opened it up. And then I'm going to bring the foot on top of the left thigh bone. Feel free to straighten the left leg as much as you need. This is figure four in a seated position. And if you would like to make it more intense, you can bend the left knee a little bit more. That's a deeper stretch. If you need to ease up on the hip opening, you straighten the left leg a little bit more. What also intensifies it, you can put your hands behind you and sort of shift your hips back so that you are now more towards on the front of your sitting bones, and your posture is bringing you up nice and tall, and that really deepens the stretch, the hip opening. You can also feel the inner right leg spinning down. I wouldn't see anything if you did it, but it kind of engages your hips in a way that deepens the stretch. Inner right leg, inner right thigh spinning down towards the ground. If at some point you want to bring the left foot in a little bit more and deepen the hip opening, you do so. This is also nice to do with your sits bones at the wall and just feeling the wall, that little feedback and push that it gives you helps encourage you to sit up nice and tall. But if you don't have a wall, that's okay. And then straighten the left leg, bend the right knee, place the right foot on the ground, and then extend the right leg. Bend both knees, readjust. Make sure your feet are hips width distance apart. And we're going to start with giving ourselves some room. Don't assume this hip is the same. Don't jump to the last place you were beforehand. We're going to ease into it just like we did with this leg. Anyway, bend this knee. It might be the left leg if you've been following along with me. Bring the shin in towards your chest. Open up the leg by bringing the shin towards the left. Then take the left ankle and you're going to place it on top of the right thigh just above the right knee. And keep your right leg straight at first, straight-ish at first, and ease into it. If you'd like, you lift the back hips a little bit so that you can come towards the front of your sitting bones. And you think about your posture. Sometimes the right leg wants to move towards the middle, but see if you can keep it see if you can keep it right in line with the right hip. You can walk the right foot in. If you'd like to, deepen the stretch. And then you can imagine Left inner thigh rolling down towards the mat to level out your hips and deepen the hip stretch. You can have your hands behind you, propping you up. You can hold the right thigh. You can be lying on your back and doing this very same shape if you'd like. Or you could be against a wall. That's always a nice variation. And you're in control of how deep your hip opener is today. To come out of it, lengthen the right leg forward, bend the left knee, place the left foot on the ground, and straighten the left leg. From here, we'll come into Paschimottanasana, a forward fold. It's really nice to take your blanket or your pillow or your rolled up mat and just place it underneath the sitting bones to give your hips a little bit of height. Then try this out with me today. Oh, I don't know if I can do this because I don't know how slippy my floor is, but bend your knees and rest your belly on the tops of your thighs. Then slowly straighten your heels, push your heels forward, and see how far can you get, how straight can your legs get while keeping your belly attached to your thighs. Your legs do not have to be perfectly straight. This is a really nice hamstring lengthener. I don't like my blanket, so I'm going to move it. Inhale, look forward, rise up, and exhale, come to lying on your back. If you would like, you can place your blanket or your pillow underneath your head. Take any final pose or movement before we come into Shavasana. Take a sip of water. And when you're ready, settle in to Shavasana. Start to bring some awareness back into your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you like. You deserve rest. But if you're with me, roll onto one side, bend the knees, and slowly rise up and take a comfortable, tall seat. Thank you for moving with me today, breathing with me. Thank you for doing something good for yourself. Please thank your body for the hard work it did for you today, no matter what it looked like, no matter how it went. Thank your mind for attending to this challenging practice. If you liked today's flow or you like any of our flows, please share them with your friends and your community. Like our page and subscribe and all that good stuff. Spread the word. Thanks, guys. We're live every morning at 10 a.m., Monday through Sunday. And this is the one evening class that we do. But you can access these videos at any time. You don't have to come to the live class. They're all saved on Facebook, and we also have a YouTube channel. So that's it, guys. Take care. Thank you.